and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me telling you guys how I got my job. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So, as many of you probably know, I work at Lowe's, and I got my job in February, and this was about the time that I'd already, like I hadn't joined the sorority yet because I wasn't planning on joining a sorority, like many of you guys probably know already. So I honestly was just looking for jobs way before I joined a sorority. And so the day of jump for the sorority, I actually had orientation for Lowe's, so luckily I could do both, because I went to jump, then had an hour, and then went to orientation, and then came back and did something else for sorority. So it was really good. And so I just basically looked for people that were hiring, and I just did a Google search. And what I did was, so I just did a Google search, and I found that Lowe's was hiring, and I just sent in my application. And then I went through the interview process, and the interview process seemed to take forever. I honestly thought that when you went in and signed in, they'd go in order based on when you signed in. And when I signed in, there wasn't really that many people there. There's a small handful of people there. And so I was okay, I'll get out of here fast, because I was gonna go eat dinner with my friends. And so I went through, and I got there. I was okay, I'll have time to get back to campus and do all this stuff. But they went from the other end, from who signed in last all the way to see who signed in first. So I sat there for 4 hours. So I sat there for I think about 4 hours. There's a 4-hour time limit at 4-hour span of time that they were doing it. And so I did the interview with one of the managers, and he asked me a bunch of questions, and not a bunch, but a couple. And then he was thanks, and I went back to the training room, and then he pulled me out and was it's gonna be a really long time, so if you could come back for the background check. And there's 2 more things throughout the process that you had to do. You had the interview, you had a background check, and I think you had a drug test too, but I don't know if that was tied into the background check or not. So they called me a few days later, a few days to a week later, and said that asked if a certain time was okay for me to go in and do this. And I finished my application process. I said yes. So I went in and did the application process, and I finished it. And then they called me and jump was the day of orientation and stuff like that. So it was really good, and I really liked it. And orientation didn't really last long. They did she just talked about what things were, and just went over a few things. I think it lasted about an hour and a half, and it wasn't that bad. And that is how I got my job. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.